1 kickoff. University of Texas Arlington going up against Arizona.
And on the kickoff, planting cargo. I do believe he's the only player in CRL that does use Batmobile. Jojo Cats. Wait for planting cargo. That one bounces off the crossbar. Trying to get back up to his Echo Clutch. And you will see Fire go for those bumps, those demos. That's patented Arizona Wildcats Rocket League. That one sent over. It's off the back wall, blocked by Jojo Cats off the shot from Echo Clutch. So early on so far, some pressure on both ends, but no real threatening shots. There's always been someone there to defend it right in front of the shooter.
But University of Texas Arlington, they're hanging with Arizona so far, and that was a big touch there. That ball, had they both whipped, would have been an easy free goal for Arizona.
And they got to be careful on defense. They're a little panicky. This time on the back, Echo Clutch finds that touch, and it's kicked back. Echo Clutch taking this again. Planting cargo, he stops 1. Can he stop 2? No, but stealing the boost and almost finding the ball. He can't get turned around. Demoed. Samba just couldn't make his way through.
And a good chip there from Adverse. And a demo coming out. Samba will take his time. I like that he's taking this into the corner. Gets the flick by Jojo, but planting cargo is there.
A nice follow-up touch from Echo Clutch. He couldn't get back to it. And it gives Jojo Cats the ball back over to Fire. Fire reading this touch from Samba. He will take it.
And he had planting cargo right there in the middle. Had he passed that a little more infield, Cargo might have had that opportunity. Fire instead trying to hit that towards net. But the positioning quality for Arizona out of the start.
Another quick pass, but it's not going to go anywhere for University of Texas Arlington. Echo Clutch takes this one up again, but planting cargo finds it. It feels like UTA right now are losing the ball. That one bounced off the crossbar. Samba tries to get back to it. He flipped into it again, but ended up knocking it back around to the corner. Fire barely gets back to the ball. Echo Clutch diving towards it. Jojo Cats now going the other way, forces Samba up to have to make a touch. A quick succession of events, and it's not over. Planting cargo up for this. It was a double commit by the Arizona Wildcats. Now Echo Clutch wants to take this out. And finally, University of Texas Arlington, Adverse might even find a shot here. Air dribble into the net. Planting cargo can't clear it. Samba scores. First goal belongs to University of Texas Arlington.
And this air dribble so deadly. He just drives it by Fire. Cargo was the last line of defense. He gets the stop, but you see the ball leak right out into the middle for Samba. The air dribble, it doesn't work that often, but when it does, it is a thing of beauty. And now almost off kickoff, the Wildcats looking to equalize past that halfway point of the game.
Long clear to the back wall. Jojo Cats almost found the touch off that backboard. Planting cargo, the touch got away from the Adverse to make a challenge. But it's picked up nicely by Jojo Cats. At least gets in the way. Samba, it's not a good touch. Fire had a shot on net, but no good.
Oh, back-to-back demos. Clutch took out Jojo. Fire takes out Echo.
Ooh, planting cargo, landing on top of Adverse's car.
And we saw that slight touch. The confusion could have been bad. They could have been set up for a better attack, but now they're going to have to reassemble. However, the Mavericks keep this attack going. Adverse putting pressure on. Echo going to turn for the challenge, and planting cargo gets the win, but that sends it up the wall. Chance for Samba.
Two good rotations as well. Samba flipped up against the back wall, shot by Adverse. Just wide of the net. Planting cargo is going to pick this up. Samba's just getting in the way. Arizona are having such a tough time getting by this Mavericks offense. This is the first time in about 2 minutes that they found themselves back on the blue half of the field, but they can't do anything with it. Fire wasted all of his boost, and now Jojo Cats and Planting Cargo, they can't even get back to the ball. Planting Cargo is just jumping up, hoping that the ball gets cleared out in time, but as you can see, Planting Cargo ended up giving up possession. The net's wide open. Adverse scores.
And a smart demo on Fire. Samba clearing the path A demo was a huge part of the play. Fire, had he not been demoed, would have been back there in net, ready to make an easy save. Samba, he was hurting for boost for the longest time, decided to just go downfield after getting some. And that paid dividends. And again, off kickoff, the Mavericks running away with game one.
Echo Clutch picking up a goal for his team here, and he's been on the point pretty much all game one for his team, and he picks up one himself off the kickoff. But I mean, James, what's the main thing out of Arizona that just isn't clicking right now for this team? I mean, they've gotten scored on 3 times now, and this is one of our stronger teams in CRL.
It just seems like the offense isn't connected. They're letting the Mavericks have so much space on offense. And Fire, we even saw earlier in the game, he had a chance to pass it infield to Cargo. He couldn't do it. They even had scoring opportunities that they put high. It just seems like offensively, this isn't the same Arizona that we've seen in the past.
Maybe still trying to wake up, but a shutout performance by the Mavericks against the Arizona Wildcats to kick off their CRL. And how else to start your game one against the CRL Fall Champions?
And we saw a slow start as well from another game that we were expecting to be more one-sided, the Waterloo game. Waterloo taking a bit of time to warm up. Perhaps Arizona just needing a little bit more time as well.
That is very possible, but whoops, that does surprise. It does surprise me a little bit, just because I'm so used to Arizona being the team that is constantly sitting on the other team's half and just throwing the ball into the corner, smashing it off the wall, chasing down every challenge you can possibly get. But that was Texas Arlington this game. It was just Arizona sitting there. Why can we not clear the ball, guys? And they're all just like, I literally have no
boost.
idea.
Yeah, no boost either.
There were several times I don't think they expected a challenge to come from where it did. I mean, Samba a couple of times would just cut rotation on his way back and just stop in front of the ball, and it gave his teammates a chance at it when they were rotating back. So it's unorthodox plays like that, I think, maybe that ended up tripping up Arizona a couple of times. Not the only thing, obviously, but there was just a couple of things where when you're going that fast at the ball and Samba just kind of cuts in front of you when you think he's going to be rotating back, you think Echo Clutch is back there, he's going to come at you. I mean, that'll trip you up in a game. Will it work consistently for UTA?
And I mean, maybe for me, I didn't get to watch as much of the CRL championship as I would have liked. Arizona, I saw the final game that they played, but what is the trademark Arizona way? How do they like to play? Demos?
Right,
well, we saw demos in favor of Arlington.
We did. But we saw Arizona early in the game. They tried to get the demo game going, but nothing was really working for them. The demos were kind of out of the play or irrelevant because they ended up losing the challenge where that demo would actually have been beneficial.
Yeah, and it really is. What you saw out of Texas Arlington that game, that's what normally happens for Arizona. The boost control, the demos, the pressure, just the inability to ever get them out of their own half is usually that type of play that Arizona is able to exert. So,
and maybe
surprising.
And maybe it's the boost game then that has been challenging them, because there was some time where Director Cam had Planning Cargo on, and Planning Cargo was sitting on the corner boost for about 4 seconds, waiting for it to spawn, and it just didn't come back.
Yeah, and we had several times we saw them almost rushing, trying to get to the blue half of the field. The play that sticks out in my mind is Fire just kind of chasing a ball that he ended up hitting real high up towards the ceiling, wasting all of his boost. And now you put Planning Cargo, who's the next man up, in a pretty poor spot because now the boom's getting boomed back to the orange half of the field.
So quality touches, Arizona. Make good touches, and I think you win the game.
Maybe.
How hard could it be?
Maybe.
Just hit the ball well.
Because
into the net.
But
Get it
UTA
in.
are making good touches. We got to give this team credit. It's not just Arizona not making it happen. This team is creating pressure. They're creating chances. It's not as if the Arizona Wildcats are just laying over and letting them do it. They're controlling the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so right now we're waiting for the lobby to get remade. Some internet issues with some of the players, so we're going to get that sorted as soon as we can so we can continue on with the series. But, Arlington, we were talking about it going into this matchup. This is, a massive series, maybe one of, if not the, most important series for them to get out ahead of their season, getting a win here.
And we did talk about it right at the start of the broadcast, putting targets on the back. Arizona is a team that always has a target on their back. It's just
They
how
put
are.
it there. They
draw
draw
They
themselves.
absolutely
Absolutely.
do. They're the people that will go into the CRL Discord and be like, "Yo, we're gonna trash all of you
Okay,
guys."
so
it's
I'm,
like,
I'm the best player
Well,
here.
yes,
I'm pretty
so
sure they said something.
So here's the best part is that I got tagged and Fire had sent a message in the CRL Discord saying we aren't dropping a single game this season, and they dropped their first.
Well, Jorby, you're not making any new friends on Arizona, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
That's okay.
That's okay.
They all love me. I promise. But Arizona down. Coming into game number 2. Samba. A touch not going much of anywhere. A little bit of space. Fire tries to close the gap, but Echo Clutch wins it. And first goes right over the defender. And it's the first goal 4 unanswered in this series.
And Echo, just a quick turn. You saw he was just faster than Fire. Fire couldn't get there in time. And that pass from Echo off the side of the wall just sets up Echo, and he gets that first goal.
And so, for the Mavericks, it's business as usual to start off game 2.
Or
We
at
haven't
first
really-
gets the goal. I apologize.
That's okay. Arizona haven't had a chance to get on the field for more than a second just yet. Adverse picks this up. Back over to Samba. They try to pinch. Ended up bouncing right into Fire. See Samba, the demo on the back end, but
And
Jojo
Samba,
Cats-
you know, Samba, he had a critical demo in the last game as well. So Samba starting to emerge as that player who loves to go for those demos, those physical plays.
the enforcer.
The brute.
But Echo Clutch knocks that one downfield. They found the gap.
And another demo.
Jojo Cats, he's gone. Echo Clutch, the ball just a little too much heat on it. And so Arizona get a much needed clear off of those 2 demos. It's a dangerous situation. Planting Cargo, his touch off the ceiling. Bought some time for Jojo Cats, but it doesn't matter. No continuing pressure. They're forced back to the corner again.
And we've seen multiple demos come out. That one's going to just be bouncing in. No boost for Echo as he tries to get back on this one. Fire continues to push that one over. That second touch, throwing off that defender. And Echo, mid-flip, that ball bounces, goes into the net. Excellent solo play from Fire to tie it up for the Wildcats.
That's one of those opportunity plays. They come around every once in a while where player can air dribble Fire. He just needs one solid touch. But wait a minute. Oh, that flick. Almost by Adverse. Just a little too much juice onto it. Planting Cargo, quick pass just off the back wall. Oh, he hits the post. The shot's still good. Fire. 2-1 lead.
And this is what you guys were describing about the all-out attack. Cargo getting the hit, getting the back or the post bounce, and then Fire just there, viciously attacking the net. And it just took a few seconds, and Arizona back on top in game 2.
That over-aggressive play style by the Wildcats, it serves them so well just because they're so consistent with their touches most times. But when they have to face a team that can meet them in speed and meet them on the challenge, it's a lot tougher for the Wildcats to score. And I mean, we've seen it in this series. It took 4 goals by the Mavericks before the Wildcats could finally get a goal. And it did take all-out aggression to make it happen. A high touch by Samba will give way for Adverse.
Cargo missed that double tap. He was trying to double tap it to prevent the bounce out into the middle. Now possession in favor of the Mavericks.
Good by Fire to follow that through. Doesn't want to make the challenge in the corner. Instead, played away from where the attack is. Planting Cargo, almost finding a dunk. Now giving way for Fire. Fire's shot is blocked by Echo Clutch. Back around. And it's taken out to the corner. Adverse can't clear this away. Jojo Cats making Echo Clutch's life difficult. Echo Clutch bodies his way back to midfield.
And Echo Clutch just doing a good job of knowing when he needs to turn. You know, he caught Fire out one time by looking like he was going back in rotation, then immediately turning, getting to the ball first. Echo doing a great job of knowing when he needs to get that touch for his team and has great speed to it. And now the win, and oh my, that was a chance, but Adverse will bail him out. Adverse getting this big goal in the final 2 minutes, and we're tied up.
Yeah, great job by Adverse to clean this up. Echo Clutch probably was not expecting Cargo to miss that touch, and all of a sudden it's coming down in front of you. Gotta make this play. They tried to make the shot, just could not, but it doesn't matter. Adverse cleanly follows it up. It's a big time goal.
And it looked like Planning Cargo got both boosts.
But here's Samba with the ball. Does he have the double touch? He doesn't need it. Adverse is there again. He scores 3 goals with 1:33 remaining.
And maybe Samba got that corner boost then because he had enough boost to make this play, threatening the double tap, keeping the defense down, and then Adverse just waits. The ball bounces right into the middle, and it's like Thanksgiving dinner. Just helps himself.
I mean, it's all you can eat, James. There's just goals every time they get a chance down at the net. It feels like it's going in. The backboard, well, close to the net. It's been difficult to defend. Oh, Adverse, what a move! And he gets a 4th. What a play!
And this is where things start to look grim for Arizona. Adverse does the dirty to the Wildcats defense.
I'm sorry, that was sick. I don't care who makes that
Just
shot.
every
I love it
touch,
every
you know,
time.
they think that Adverse is done. Like he's out of the play, but he just gets to the ball and gets the touch just the split second before Arizona could get there.
And maybe put this out of reach for the Wildcats with a minute left.
And you know, if friends of Adverse are watching, they clipped that play.
Yeah, he won't get many chances better than that one to look that pretty. Adverse, maybe he proves me wrong, but he finds his man just off the crossbar. It is the shooting range, and the target is Arizona's net.
And Adverse there threatening again the double tap. JoJo has to wait down, and Samba getting this ball out to Echo. And what's great for University of Texas Arlington is that they're always there for when the ball is bouncing out in the middle. So many times you see teams that aren't ready. They rotate all the way back for boost, and they can't take advantage of that play. But it seems like the Mavericks continue to just be where they need to be and get those goals that are freebies if you're in the right spot. And they are in the right spot over and over again.
Samba tries a quick hard touch to beat Fire over top of him. He couldn't get enough power onto it. Now Echo Clutch, again, a high ball. Intentionally putting that one high. Don't want to give the ball away to the other team. Giving someone a chance at it. It's just killed so much time off the clock. 10 seconds, 3 goals, and it's the Arizona Wildcats that are going down 2-0 in this series. In the season opener for the Arizona Wildcats. Last year, they were the champions, and here they're brought to task by University of Texas Arlington, the Mavericks. It's 2-0.
And that was a beatdown.
It was.
That was a good old-fashioned beatdown. Adverse pulling out a Gib here.
Dude is nuts.
With 4 goals.
You guys.
I'm sorry, man.
I was sitting there giggling that whole game.
There's something about those sweet mashed potatoes at Chiefs. What'd you like? What
did you like about this game specifically?
I liked how absolutely disgusting Adverse was, because you guys already spent enough time talking about that. But you were absolutely right. That dude's got just that split-second advantage of timing, winning that ball in a critical position, and he will open the door. This time he ended up being the guy to close it so many times. He put 4. He had almost 800 points. Dude was on fire this game. And it's like, Arizona, I mean, I don't know how to stop that. I really don't. That was amazing.
I mean, it just seems like, you know, it's either great communication or great synergy. Because, you know, a lot of times when you're playing with people and you're in those moments where you continue to hit it off the backboard, it's easy to over-rotate or rotate back when you should stay up. It's one of those calls in Rocket League that is very tough to know. Is like, how important is it that I get boost right now versus that I stay up field and help? Because if you stay up field and it's high, you can't get to the ball, you let them hit it over your head.
Right.
But what we've seen is that, you know, the Mavericks, they're continuing to take advantage of those backboard bounces into the middle and getting goal after goal after goal. And that's what happened last game.
And so this next game, I mean, not LSU, excuse me, Arizona, they have to figure this out. They've tried demos, but they've been matched in the physicality department. In fact, they've been beaten in the physicality department. And that shot turned into a rebound, which turns into a goal for Planning Cargo.
And we see JoJo Cats, a hard hit off the backboard, Adverse in a difficult situation, trying to pre-jump a little bit. And that ended up not being the greatest hit out, and the challenge on the goal line didn't go your way, and that's the most difficult place to win a 50-50. Now off kickoff.
Dangerous situation, but taken away by Samba. Good control, just couldn't flick it over Cargo. Cargo one touch out, and he's demoed and sent away. And even still, he's forced to try to make a touch in midfield where he has to slam it like that against. Is that open? It is open. All right, never mind. Take it, James.
A double commit here. We saw Samba going up, dropping it down, and then Echo actually was way off to the corner. Both teammates upfield. What might have been a double commit, it's tough to know, or based on the angles I was watching, why both players were so deep upfield. And perhaps Samba, the better option would have been to just go back to net, let the Arizona Wildcats get the hit, because as soon as he dropped that straight down, there was nobody back left to play any defense. It's a rough start for the Mavericks. It's exactly what the Wildcats need to get back into this series.
Yeah, maybe it relieves some hidden tension the Wildcats were feeling after those first two games. Giving yourself a nice early lead. Fire is off the ceiling. He did still have his flip, but couldn't get back to the ball. Jojo Cat's Fire wanted that bump against Echo Clutch, but it's a quick turnaround. Here's Adverse. Adverse just off the backboard, and somehow Echo Clutch sneaks his way through, and they pull within one.
And that pass from Samba was absolutely gorgeous. But again, it's the backboard that's doing in the Wildcats. Great job getting up in the air. And, you know, in today's game, there's so many options that you can have when you're up in the air in front of net. The pass from Samba, so threatening, and then that allowed them to get that drop pass off the backboard.
Fire, his touch out to the side. It was looking to be a decent start for the Mavericks, but Arizona turned it around. Now one flipped away by Echo Clutch. Fire's right there. It's going to bounce straight out for Jojo Cats. That shot blocked immediately by Adverse.
And we even saw Fire for a brief moment there consider turning.
Ends up picking this one. Echo Clutch has to wait for that ball to drop down, and as a result, Jojo Cats had a piece of it. But planning Cargo, he's still forced back, and he makes a good touch forward. And really, a good idea by planting Cargo there. He just couldn't win that final challenge that would have given the Wildcats some momentum and maybe getting that insurance back. But good job by the Mavericks to hold steady on the blue half.
And you see both teams looking for those bumps and demos. Jojo Cat aiming for it, didn't get the demo. And now Fire trying to go for that bump on Adverse, does get the corner boost.
Good touch from Adverse, back out to the corner. Had to split between Planning Cargo, but they still haven't gotten this clear. Samba right into another Wildcat attacker. Echo Clutch, he can't make this touch. Now Adverse, he's forced in a bad spot. You see Fire going to bully him, but Adverse, he at least stops planting Cargo for a second. A second was all he needed. Now a race back to the ball. Echo Clutch out of boost. Samba, back pass over to Adverse in a potentially panicky situation. The Mavericks really look stoic.
Yeah, and that was a tough spot to play defense when you have two players at zero boost. Adverse handling it very well.
You got Fire chasing you down there, and Planted Cargo is real close to you next to be able to avoid the demo and make the touch on top of it. Now if he can move down the field, which he hits over one, Samba bumps into him, but that's no problem. Samba will eventually jump around in front of the ball. Echo Clutch has a shot. Oh, it's blocked. Planted Cargo keeps the lead.
And Arizona had such a hot start, but since they've cooled off, but one more goal here that could lock in game three. The shot off the crossbar, follow-up off the crossbar, loading out in front of net, and again blocked, but Fire eventually overwhelms the defense. A Cat only has so many lives, and they went through all of them right there.
I don't know how long this box was sitting in the blue box, but it's probably the longest I've seen it at this level of player higher. Ridiculous. But a huge insurance goal. That's just throw your bodies at the net, James. The ball just bouncing up and down in front of the box. Doesn't matter what happens.
It's bound to go in eventually.
Absolutely.
Now another strong shot, but Echo back and ready.
Better challenges from the Wildcats in this game, and better control as well. Cargo keeping this one close, but knowing that they were going to utilize that space. Adverse tries to close the gap. Couldn't find the touch on the double tap, and is kicked away. They sent the house, and it's not over. Less than a minute, but that touch for Adverse isn't going to do much. And you see just back and forth across the blue half. The Wildcats took it. They pick up the 4th goal.
And that's a good thing for the Wildcats. They missed that open net on the counterattack, leaving the door open for the Mavericks, but now that door has been firmly shut. A 3-goal lead, not much time left on the clock, and the Wildcats have to begin that long journey back into this series. Their back was to the wall, but they answered the call.
And this was an uphill battle for the Mavericks to start the game. They gave up an early 2-goal lead, and it looked like they might have been able to fight back, but they had to fight for about every inch of space. The Wildcats were not making it easy, and then they eventually just couldn't keep the floodgates closed. And really, that's what we expect from this Wildcats team. We expect them to be resilient.
And angry.
And not get swept in a game like this. When you're talking about a guy that says, we're not going to drop a single game, and then they drop their first 2, there's got to be some of that swagger that you know Arizona has, and it showed in this game. And they stay alive, not out of this series yet.
I mean, it's certainly true that they have no shortage of confidence. And it's going to take a lot of confidence to continue to play well, get back in this series. Arizona getting that win, staving off the sweep. But they still have another game to go to prevent that series-winning game for the Mavericks.
And I think those early leads are important for Arizona just because I think tilt is a factor with this team. And so because, yes, they have an endless vat of confidence, but when you are getting beat by a team that you probably don't expect to get beat by this team, then that confidence turns into anger and into tilt. And we know Arizona,
you sound like you know these players well,
Arizona
Jordy.
No, he's just watched a lot of Star Wars, you know.
Yeah,
Anger leads to hate. Hate
It's
leads to
yeah, but yeah, good job, Arizona, for hanging in there. Achieves.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely. I made a joke about it, but you're actually absolutely right. I mean,
no, I know. That's the whole point of this, to make jokes. So
Arizona is a team that it really does feel like they sit there and they're getting beat, and they're just the team that's sitting there. Why the heck are we getting beat? This is stupid. And then they just like play worse and worse. So to have them come out here and start first 30 seconds 2-goal lead, they're like,
okay,
excellent. This is how we expected things to go. And then they clapped them.
They certainly did, and now they have to do it again. Losing in the series 2-1. University of Texas Arlington can close out the series right now and get what would be maybe the biggest upset of the day. We were not expecting.
It would have to be. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, even if results went the other way in previous series, this was one where we thought that the previous CRL champions would certainly not fall in week 1. But now it's possible, and we might see just that unless Arizona can get another win here.
Adverse. The pass over to Echo Clutch. It is taken away. Nice little carry by JoJo Cats, but it doesn't really go anywhere. Planning Cargo will pick that one up. That's a roller. It'll find the gap in the Wildcats, but they still have possession. Samba on his way towards that ball. He got a demo, and it gives them a chance here. Back! Oh, Verse! No, he doesn't get it, and it's a bouncer off the post. Fire makes the save. I thought Adverse had it.
Oh my, that was such a close call, and Adverse turned quickly on that. Seemed like an impossible angle. Now on the other end, Planning Cargo. Almost there in time. Now Echo. Gonna take this upfield, trying to wave dash to the ball. Fire. Clears it up to JoJo. JoJo pops it up for Cargo. Cargo, double tap pass, but Adverse gets the clear down the sideline. He's going to leave it so he can get the side boost. Now Echo, nothing left in the tank. Gets a good challenge.
Just continuing to march by Adverse. He's still finding that split-second advantage, even in that corner. This time it goes away, but he's over Planting Cargo. And he's looking to get over JoJo Cats, and such a smart play up the wall. Forces JoJo Cats to have to turn his car up to try to make a play on the ball, and he's already positioned for it. So Adverse is going to win that. And it's beautiful play by him. Samba, he's going to carry that himself.
Oh, and he had an opportunity there to go for the boost steal. He doesn't get it. Fire gets full boost, and now on the counterattack, Arizona potentially making him pay for leaving that boost in the corner.
Still, Fire's going to try to send something across. A good pass over to Echo Clutch. A race for the ball. It's open for Samba. He's got it. That's a goal and a lead for the Mavericks.
And an overcommit from Arizona. We see Fire was off in the corner getting boost. And so when that challenge didn't come through as that ball was floating up in front of net, Samba just had that breakaway opportunity.
Arizona trying to move down this pitch quickly. Off the kickoff. Samba getting in front again, continuing to be the brute for the Mavericks. Echo Clutch, another challenge, and this is Echo Clutch just getting in the face of Arizona, giving Adverse a firing lane, and he finds a second goal almost halfway through. Beautiful play over the top. Planting Cargo, he just couldn't get back to that in time, and no good for them, and a 2-goal lead here halfway through. And while we said it was a great job by Arizona in Game 3 to prevent the sweep, it had to continue. But now it's a 2-goal lead for this Arlington squad. We may be seeing this upset.
And now, Arizona, this is where their mettle is tested. Under half the game left, down by 2, 2-goal swings. They can happen fast, and Arizona's going to need it to happen fast.
Great challenge by Adverse. Knock it out towards midfield. That's a quick pass to Planted Cargo, high off the back wall. No! He can't make it happen off the backboard. Fire can't get it by Echo Clutch. Echo Clutch, bit of side flipping to try to get it away into the corner. It's another clear, and more time off the clock. Planted Cargo kicks it out towards midfield. Adverse has Samba, beautiful pass on the turnaround. Now Jojo Cats has to play this out, and he finally beats Adverse. That matchup in particular, Adverse has had Jojo Cats' number. Here's Fire, but the backboard is unavailable. Jojo Cats is going to try again. Arizona, they have some nice continuations, but no shots are coming. Samba just plays it away again, and he beats Fire to the ball right. Echo Clutch can't get there. Arizona still have a chance, but Samba's there yet again. Planting Cargo, quick pass, cut off.
Chance
beautiful
for Samba.
hop by Adverse. Samba there, blocked by Planting Cargo. What hustle! And Jojo Cats, he just misses the ball. It's a high bouncer. Echo Clutch plays it out to the corner.
And this is where panic comes into play. Approaching that final minute for Arizona. And this shot from Planting Cargo off the pass from Jojo Cats keeps hope alive for Arizona.
And he sets this play up himself, gets himself into position for this shot, and it's perfect placement from Planted Cargo and Jojo Cats.
Samba, he was playing such rock-solid defense, but that play there, he actually passed it off his own corner into the middle. Had that rolled up, that chance would not have happened. So Samba, after being so good, denying the backboard, making defensive stops, that small mistake there gives Arizona a chance to get back in this game. But still, now the double Demo Cargo and Echo both taking each other out.
Samba at least making a touch here. Planting Cargo beats Echo Clutch to the ball. Chance for the Wildcats maybe, but third man playing back for Jojo Cats. He keeps the play alive. Fire. A couple of taps. Planting Cargo sneaks this through off the touch from Fire in the corner. We got a tie game.
And at first, he just waits here and completely is bamboozled by the pass from Fire. Fire getting that double tap pass off the corner. And this is where things can get ugly for UTA. Arizona losing a majority of the game with just 1 minute left. Cargo gets the first one. Now about 20 seconds left. They get the second.
Oh, so dangerous. Fire, you thought he had that touch. He definitely has the ability to make that kind of play happen, but just a little too far out in front of the ball or behind the ball and taken away. Shot, oh no, blocked by Planting Cargo. Maybe in overtime, maybe Fire and Planting Cargo have a play here. Echo Clutch makes a great challenge. Jojo Cats kills the ball. Overtime.
1 goal away from an upset. The Mavericks trying to take down the CRL champion Wildcats. Fire. Pass off the side. Both miss.
Oh.
The shot was going low and Adverse gets the save. But they're not out just yet.
Oh, Jojo Cats is there, but it's blocked by Echo Clutch. Fire plays it away. Gives himself a chance here against Echo Clutch. Believe ran out of boost on the play. Samba's touch. Fire, a great challenge. Preventing any kind of rebound. And Adverse, he couldn't find it. Planting Cargo's there! And Arizona, they They steal game 4. We're going to game 5.
The hat trick for Planning Cargo. And the most important goal coming in overtime. A strong shot keeps it low. And Arizona cling to life and force game 5.
All fire. All fire in this game for Arizona. He set up 2 important, crucial goals for Planting Cargo. One being that overtime goal, and then one being the goal that tied the game to begin with. That touch in the corner, high in the corner, that got that pass.
Yeah,
that Planting Cargo snuck in.
You're absolutely right.
It's funny you say that because I was watching that play from JoJo Cat's perspective. Fire just said, I'm going to do what I want.
He jumped in front of the ball.
He jumped over JoJo Cat's head to go steal that ball away
I
in the
didn't
corner.
say it was smart. I just said he did it.
Well, it's just like, oh my goodness, dude. That's like...
If you do what your teammates don't expect...
How can the other team
expect it? And it did work out. And Planning Cargo, he was just a predator.
Yeah.
He was waiting in the middle for his opportunities. And, you also have to feel bad for Samba, who played such good defense for a majority of the time. But that one hit, the one hit in the corner, back out, that is what kickstarted that first goal, which even got Arizona back into the game.
Yeah. But what's funny to me is, like JoJo Cat's 4 minutes, he had 62 points. And then at that point, it was like Arizona was like, faster, faster, faster. And then JoJo Cat's just started going and doing things. So to me, JoJo Cat's was actually the only reason Arizona started working. He's like, whatever, I'm just going to go for challenges. And he stopped having Fire and Cargo cut him off as much.
So we'll see if JoJo Cat's continues to play an important role here as we get kicked off in the final game 5.
Oof. These kickoffs haven't been good for the Mavericks. They put themselves in some interesting defensive positions, but they've handled them for the most part pretty well. But that overtime goal, it started on a kickoff and a cheat from Planting Cargo. They're just an aggressive team.
And we already saw some confusion from the Mavericks. Echo had went up, Adverse also went up for the same ball, and Echo just had a little more patience. Might have been able to get that rebound out into the middle.
You saw Adverse, he was confused there as well. Samba came in, he wanted to get the pass to Adverse earlier, but Adverse had already turned into the ball, and Samba just had to play it forward. They do get the ball back. That's a good touch from Adverse, one to beat for Planting Cargo, but he ends up just flipping it right into him. Arizona moves back down the pitch. JoJo Cat's tried the challenge, and Adverse will take this. Echo Clutch following it closely. Planting Cargo has the save. Samba tries to take the shot, but he couldn't get around the ball hard enough and didn't get any power on that touch. Fire easily takes it away.
UTA having some good moments there. You were right, Jorby. Had he gotten around that, might have been able to get another shot on net, which would force a rebound or potentially even score had he hit it perfectly. And now the drop shot from Fire. The defender on the backboard couldn't make the read. We see the little bump there. And then Echo just too slow, couldn't get up the wall in time, realizes he's not going to get there, tries to turn around, but Fire was there and puts it in. Arizona getting the lead.
Fire again. I know Achieves really likes JoJo Cat's in this series, and credit to JoJo Cat's. You'll Fire making it happen this time. That went up. Planting Cargo waited for that little touch from Echo Clutch. Knew he was going to play it off the side. He was going to get more power. The ball hit into him. Was late to it. Fire looking for a bump, but he doesn't need it. Just has to get in the way. Planting Cargo, another goal.
And Planting Cargo had such an amazing game 4 to even force game 5. And what we see is another defensive mistake, and even the bump attempt on the goal line. But you cannot hit the ball out in front of your own net. That is just asking for trouble. And UTA do it yet again. It bit them last game, and it's biting them this game. As Arizona gearing up for that reverse sweep.
Looking to complete what was really just a comeback that you might not have thought was going to happen after the first 2 games.
I mean, even in game 4, they were losing by 2 with a minute left.
Yeah.
And that one mishit, the ball right out into the middle. That opened the door, and they just walked right in. And now they're eating your dinner.
Yeah, you can't sleep on this team. You can't let yourself get lulled after you've built yourself a lead. Arizona will make you pay every time. We've seen this happen with teams against the Wildcats. They build a lead, then they sit on that lead, and then they end up losing because Arizona never stopped going at 110%. Fire easily has it handled over Echo Clutch. And you see jumping up for this in reverse, he was going for that touch from Jojo Cats, was looking for the read onto it. Echo Clutch is going to get this off the ceiling, but is only going to give way for Fire to clear the ball again.
And, you know, the Wildcats, they have been destroyed so many times by this backboard attack from UTA, but they have buttoned that up quite a bit. But now, again, Fire misses that. It's bouncing onto the middle. Jojo Cats will have to get this to the corner. Good infield pass.
I like the idea, even in traffic from Samba there. He put it right in front of Echo Clutch. Adverse, he dove in front of that, tried to force a decision. Didn't work out for his team. Samba, big whiff. Planting Cargo will take that. Jojo Cats, he wanted it, but Planting Cargo took it away from him. Achieves mentioned it in between games. He wanted to see less of Fire and Planting Cargo.
I mean, Jojo Cats, you know, he did have the best angle on that shot, but Planting Cargo has had a hot hand. Had the hat trick, got that overtime goal, and scored all the goals last game, so you can understand what's going through Planting Cargo's mind, but you're right. Jojo getting his toes stepped on a few times.
It works out most times for this Wildcats team. It's just, you know, I do agree with the Chiefs. This team is at their strongest when Jojo Cats is a full part of this rotation. And, you know, for the most part, he has been. It's just Planting Cargo and Fire. Those two in particular, super aggressive players. And they've held this 2-goal lead. They will throw themselves at everything, and it works out for them consistently. Don't ask me how. It's just when you make touches like that, good things happen.
And the triple tap.
Good things happen, James.
Fire making the highlight reel. There we go. Tap,
One,
tap,
two,
tap, tap, tap it in.
Love it. Honestly, Fire. Sorry, James, go for it.
No, I'm just admiring the goal.
Yeah,
I'm watching
beautiful.
the replay as a fan of Rocket League. That was a thing of beauty. Fire putting that final nail in the coffin, in the reverse sweep will be coming through. Arizona, the CRL champions, seemed like they were going to get slugged out of the gate. The first game or first series of the first week of the CRL fall season, it looked like they were down and out, but they battled back. And the reverse sweep happens. Adverse getting one for the road, but it doesn't matter. The Wildcats getting this series win.
A well-earned comeback for the Wildcats. I mean, this whole series started out with them getting scored on 4 times in a row before they finally picked up a goal to begin the series across 2 games. And then something just clicked. And Fire just started hitting. He is so good at hitting the corner of that Dominus hitbox so consistently. His touches were so good on those back.
And that,
on the
you know,
that series.
that triple tap.
Yeah.
You know, Fire just one of those players, just like Cargo, who, you know, they just have it in them to make those crazy goals.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's that high-powered offense that can just get uncorked that really allows the Wildcats, you know, to be on that championship level caliber of a team. You know, those guys can just put goals in the back of the net when they need to. That's exactly what Cargo did in Game 4, and then Fire and Cargo both stepping up in Game 5.
Yeah, they definitely have the amount of aggression, and, you know, you're absolutely right. Fire and Cargo, those are the 2 standout big playmakers of that team. But again, I mean, I was talking about it a little bit in Game 4. You got to give a lot of credit to Jojo Cats because it's hard to be a player on a team with players like Cargo and Fire.
It takes skill to get carried.
It is an absolute art. No,
You are not making any friends.
But here's the
Kirby.
thing. It's
you-
not. But it's. Sorry, Chiefs. I didn't mean to
You
derail
You said
you.
something incendiary.
Now,
We
I'm
have to
just
hear
saying,
about it.
When I say it's a skill to get carried, I mean Jojo Cats knows the type of player that Planting Cargo and Fire
Yeah.
are, and they're at their best when they're allowed to just play their game. And Jojo Cats is an even better player for being able to play around that. I'm not saying that he's a bad player. I'm saying that it takes a good player to play around
He's
players.
the utility player.
the dude just sits there and bites the bullet. And
Yeah.
it's
You
like,
know,
fine, you
just
want a
takes it.
ball chase?
Go for it.
I would honestly say that a utility player is way nicer than saying he's so good at being carried.
I don't know if. But it's fun to say it that way.
It is, and that was a fun series to watch. It
Yeah.
looked like UTA. I mean, we were gearing up. We were thinking that this was
3-0.
going to be an upset.
Definitely.
And then, you know, even in Game 4, we're like, okay, you know, they gave up game 3, but game 4 they're going to be closing it out. A minute left. Cargo refuses to lose.
He was always in the right spot. You had pointed it out several times. He was just sitting in midfield waiting for his opportunities, and the opportunities kept coming, and he kept scoring, and he was so fast, and some of those he snuck in, but it's just his positioning was so aggressive, so he got rewarded for it consistently.
And you know who else got rewarded?
Who?
Twitch chat.
They did.
For being right. Let's take a look at their prediction numbers. 54%. I need to go talk with Corey in the back. Psionics. He's the one who's putting the deadline on voting. That changed so much, didn't it? I feel like that changed an incredible amount.
You got to give everybody in chat a chance to answer. Maybe it's game 1, game 2.
Okay,
UT
Arlington,
can understand.
They beat Arizona 3-0 in the first game. They shut them out. Yeah. So, of course, I'm going to be hitting exclamation point, go UTA. Come on.
But
no, I believe you.
even game 2 rolled around. It was kind of a wash, rinse, and repeat. It was U of A under pressure, double committing, making bad touches. And the whole series took a huge shift after the first minute of game 3. Again, they got that first 2-0 lead. Everyone in Arizona was like, all right, that's how it works. Because that's how it worked. It was 8-2.
Yeah.
In the first 2 games for UTA, and then 10-4 for U of A in the last 3. So the offense just turned on.
Yeah, no, and it seemed like offensively for UTA at the start, they were experiencing so much success attacking the backboard, and that eventually just stopped working for them. Jojo Cat, I did like some of his defensive stops where, when you're retreating back to your own net and you have to prevent the backboard hit, jumping up at that angle can be really tough, especially when you have that attacker literally right behind you where if you miss, it's a goal. And he made a few of those stops, and then we also just saw a lockdown on the backboard from Arizona. And so, Arizona, again, just taking advantage of the mistakes that were made by UTA when they were bouncing it off the corners back into the middle. So, it is what it is. And, they get the loss. UTA gets the loss. But the Wildcats, they come back, and a lot of it was due to Planting Cargo's offense. And we actually have Planting Cargo on the line with us.
Oh,
he's got the shades on, too.
We back, baby. We back, baby.
So Cargo, were you nervous?
I won't lie. The first 2 games were a little bit rough on the edges. I think we can all agree on those.
I was ready for the man.
Yeah,
gave it to him.
Honesty's I love it. But what do you think it was that was? What do you think it was that was giving you guys trouble for those first few games, and how did you turn it around?
Well, to be frank, we had all 3 just woken up from naps. So I feel like we just had to get going. And Adverse on their team is definitely their hard carry, to be honest. Like, he's by far their best player. I've known him since season 3 when I was actually being a competitive player. But we picked it up at game 3, a little pep talk, and worked out. We knew we were the better team. We came out the better team and got the dub. That's what matters.
That's the truth.
See, you've never been on a CRL broadcast.
No,
we're just going to win.
I've seen the Twitch clips, okay?
I was going to say,
I knew
he's
what
all
we were getting
over the
into.
internet, man.
Okay, spot, brother, you know it. You're the best team in CRL still. What do you mean?
You're right, I do. And guys, what else did you see from Cargo? For me, Cargo, I saw a couple of those corner bounces that you guys were able to take advantage of. Is that what you think the difference was in some of those games? Was the mistakes, or what in your opinion was the biggest factor in you guys being able to turn it around, especially in that game 4 where you were losing until the final minute?
Game 4, we were down 2-0. I had 2 pretty dumb mistakes on defense. I told Ollie, who's fire, him, best player in CRL. I told him to start. No, I told him to start monkeying, so he did. He monkeyed on
just
1
go
second.
Monkey.
That's what he flew over.
No, just go for the ball. I'll be in midfield. John will be sitting back on defense. I got all 3 goals that game and the last game, and that's literally how we won the rest.
I told
the
you,
chance
man.
was palpable.
I told you. They just jump over JoJo Cat's head and they score the ball.
It's leaking all the strats right now.
Never
but I mean,
with
if you know it's coming and you can't stop it, it's still a great strat, right?
Yeah. But and I will say, I want to give one shout out to Corelli. He actually told me to message him, and he was saying, "Bear down, baby, go Wildcat."
There it is.
That's what he was saying to me. Hey, I'm telling you.
So Corelli, a hidden influence on this series.
Well, you know, he's
a U of A alum, so they're going to do what they do.
He does what he does.
Well, what a series that was. You guys really did put on a show, Cargo. So thank you for putting on that show. And is there any final words that you want to leave the stream, family, friends, anyone watching with?
I'm just here for Arizona esports, and I'm all about content, baby. We're going to bring more content this year, and we're going to see y'all down in Arlington for the second year in a row. We win. Go down to their turf and bring home another trophy.
Well, thank you, Cargo. You have a great rest of your night. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, fellas. Have a good one.
You too.
I love
so
how much they
hammer. What time is it here?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's exactly
I don't have a watch. You do.
9:02.
And he's wearing sunglasses.
No, dude, that right there is the picturesque snapshot of what U of A is.
I'd be concerned if Cargo wasn't wearing sunglasses, to be honest with you.
Every winter interview is planting Cargo shades.
Yeah.
And it's
the question is he wearing those when he's gaming?
No.
Oh, no. Absolutely not.
That's the yeah, we won one moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work for you.
That's the drink a tall water after a hard day at work.
That was entertaining.
We might end up looking back on this series depending on how the Mavericks do for the rest of the season, and look at this as a series that Arizona maybe needed to win. Because I think that this conference is tough, and if Arizona really were just napping and they end up playing the back half of that series like they do the rest of the season, then maybe it's nothing to worry about. But they may look back at this series as one that they're glad that they were resilient on. I think it shows the moxie of this Arizona team to be able to hang on after getting smacked 8-2 in the first half of the series.
And even in that game 4, they were losing by 2 in the final minute. That was when they put in that first goal.
Go ball chase.
Yeah. It works. Have you seen Gimmick?
So that's Hey man, Jorby, you are making zero friends.
Dude.
I'm gonna have to cut you off here. Let's take a look at the day's results. It was a wonderful day of action. Started out with Rutgers versus Akron, and Akron, a team that we expect to do big things moving forward, getting the win 3-1, and then also some close fought victories. We saw Waterloo. Michigan got the 3-0. Waterloo also down in the series, ended up getting the win in Game 5. LSU with their sweep over Missouri, and then that 5-game reverse sweep from Arizona.
Yeah.
An action-packed day of CRL.
Even the 3-0s were close. I mean, Michigan versus Rochester were all one-goal games. The LSU and Mizzou were both one-goal games until Game 3, where LSU blew them out of the water. But sometimes that's the way it crumbles. And today was a great start.
Honestly, I'm really impressed with the quality of play we got today. Usually week 1, day 1 of CRL, we get a lot of mismatches. Sometimes one team is clearly better than another, but like this crop of teams that keep coming out, they keep getting better. And the two standouts for me today were Tristan and Sharp.
Oh, yes.
New players going on to already established CRL teams and maybe outperforming their predecessor in their first match.
Tristan, I had my complaints about, when he chose to use his, bag of tricks, but he certainly has a deep bag of tricks.
He's got a bag of tricks.
Moves. He was going for some crazy shots, and I think that's just a testament to how that first season of CRL was. People maybe in that first season weren't as aware of CRL and that collegiate Rocket League is an option, but after seeing that that big that big championship, national championship, and the longer it's around, the more we see these great players starting to gravitate towards competing in CRL, and we really are seeing some high-level Rocket League, and it's great to watch.
Well, you even had, because I think you're absolutely right, it does take a little bit to get that ball rolling, but the word gets out, and then people start being like, yo, I'll be in college soon. I'm going to go play CRL there, and there are these people that are Champ 3, and then they get onto teams like, even they were talking about Sharp, They were like, yo, the dude's a mid-rank B six-mans player, but, he's been playing with us for a month and a half, and the dude's, you're putting him in rank A. It's like people, they get on these teams that have had CRL players that are good, and they just get better. Because even last season, you saw people like Planting Cargo and Fire be substitutes for teams that were pushing for rival series.
Yeah.
So, it is a pretty good breeding ground.
Yeah, and the level of competition's only continuing to increase. And, it's just, I love watching it. A good Rocket League, no matter who's playing it, is fun to watch. And we saw some highlight plays, the ceiling shot from Tristan, the triple tap from Fire. Just
fun stuff.
Fun stuff today.
Ooh, and the sick touch from Gary.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, that
How did we
shot from
forget
Gary.
that
Just
one?
And
the
even
tipper, the
at
tipper.
Verse, he beat the
Adverse?
entire
Yes.
Arizona defense.
Oh.
We had some really
There's some
awesome
fun
We have
stuff.
moments.
solid players, man. That's
There's
great.
some fun stuff.
So
great.
if you're just tuning in, I'm sorry because it's over and you'll have to go check. But good news is there's a VOD. You can go back, check out all the plays we're talking about. But that's it. We're done. That was the final series of the day. But fortunately, we have more CRL coming tomorrow. So if you're sad you missed it, don't worry. Watch the VOD and tune in tomorrow because we have more Collegiate Rocket League coming at you. That's it for us, but we'll see you then.